It is D-Day in Under 19 World Cup 2022. Time for the final, and it's going to be a big match. Mouth-watering prospect of two unbeaten sides facing in the final is always a good one. And as you can see on the screen, is a gentleman who's been bringing us the updates all the way throughout the tournament and some fantastic stories throughout the tournament. Welcome, Sandipan Banerjee. I see you have dressed for the occasion.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a big occasion, And last time I covered the Under 19 World Cup back in Bangladesh, India lost that final. So I always had that regret. Today I just want to, I'm all dressed up.
Yeah, and as for our viewers, so Mr. Sandipan is right now waiting outside the ground where in any moment the toss is going to happen for the final between the two captains. And look, Sandipan, this has been such an incredible tournament in the sense that there were barriers for Team India on their way towards their journey towards the final. We saw after the first match five players testing positive, and then majority of them weren't available for majority of the group stage of the tournament, and then they returned in the quarterfinal. There was a tough win, a tough chase, and then against Australia, there was a comprehensive performance both with the bat and the ball, and now they're there for the final, for the fourth consecutive final for India in this tournament.
Yes, it has been, I think, commendable performance by the Indian team, because yes, there has been a lot of barrier, not only after coming here, there is a lot of barrier
Yeah,
back home as well, because these guys haven't got enough time. They did not get enough time in the, at the domestic games to prepare themselves for for this tournament. Then they just played one Challenger Trophy and I think and a domestic tournament, and after
yeah,
that played that Asia Cup and then they came to the Caribbean or where they had to face all the hurdles. Their captain and the vice captain missed out couple of games. So overall, I think, and also let's not forget that these youngsters are staying in a bio bubble for a long time now, and we have seen at the senior level also staying in a bio bubble for a long time is a very it's a very tough ask. And but
yeah.
let's hats off to these youngsters, you know for this for the kind of sacrifices or the kind of what can I say, the mental aspect at this very age,
Yeah.
they are getting familiar with. I think they have done a very commendable job.
Yeah. I tell you what's incredible to me about India's under 19 World Cup stars every time around, because now there's this culture that you can only play one under 19 World Cup, no matter you're 17 or 19. You won't get to play another one because you have to progress in terms of your career there. That's been a pattern that has been set over the last few tournaments. And what we have seen is that you're talking about maturity, not in terms of the off-field stuff, but even on-field. Let's talk about the performances that we saw in the semi-final against Australia, that partnership between Yashul and Sheikh Rashid. And once again, I tip my hat to you, sir, even though I have no hat. You have your hat there. But I tip my hat to you. You were looking forward to Yashul batting in that match. And boy, oh boy, did he bat in that game, becoming only the third Indian captain to score 100 in the tournament.
Absolutely, absolutely. What an innings it was, First of all, winning the toss and opting to bat first was a bold decision.
Yeah.
And he led from the front to back this up. And I mean, today also, I think the toss has just happened. But since I am
Yep.
outside, I'm not being able to.
Yeah, so I'll give you the update on this. England have won the toss and they've opted to bat first.
Yes. So now
Yeah,
I was actually expecting such thing, because initially, if you look at these conditions, it has rained a lot throughout the last night. You can see damp patches behind me as well. As I saw the pitch early in the morning, there's a fair bit of moisture on the surface. It looked a bit of darkish from the outside. So initially, when I entered the ground, I thought they should opt to bowl. But
yeah,
both India and England in this tournament, they have taken some bold calls at the toss. For example,
yeah,
England against Afghanistan on the other day, it was raining on that morning, and yet they opted to bat. So England are backing their
yeah,
strength, and I
yeah,
don't. I think India won't mind chasing here. I think India won't mind chasing
yeah.
here.
Yeah. One of the things that Tom Prest, England captain, has mentioned at toss is that we will have a bad first. Pitch looks good one, but obviously scorecard pressure is a big thing in these big finals, and it's obviously going to come into play. But we'll have to see if India are able to chase down whatever England give them to chase down here. But then again, coming back before we have the lineups, which we don't as of now. Before we talk about them, let's come back to the performances in the semifinals. We were talking about Yash Dul's batting. We were talking about Sheikh Rashid's batting. What did you make of them?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, I know it will be a premature to call at this point, but both looks like a test match material, test match prospects for him. For at least even for Ravichandran Ashwin also, who was constant tweeting up when that partnership was
Yeah.
taking place. I think they both showed a lot of temperament. Performing under pressure is not an easy task, and every time India have lost early wicket, these two men have been India's crisis. India's crisis men. These two. So I guess India's batting depend on them heavily at this point, because we know that at the top Harnoor's form hasn't been good in this tournament, and India have lost early wickets in some of the games. But whenever India lost early wickets, these two were there to steady the ship.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, India did post a big total, but then again, Australia, what I thought, off to a decent start. They were around 56 for 1 after 12.3 overs, but then started that spin phase of 16 overs where India got 4 wickets. And I remember the two of us constantly exchanging messages on WhatsApp talking about, okay, how many wickets can we get here? And we did talk about, okay, if we get 5 wickets somehow in this phase, that can put pressure on Australia. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, we saw Ankush Patima coming into bowl, getting a wicket. And of course, then we saw India's best bowler in the tournament once again on the big stage. And I somehow thought when Ravindra Jadeja, certain Ravindra Jadeja and Akshar Patel would have had smiles on their face watching Vicky Oswal because he kept bowling to the batter who was looking for turn, but there wasn't any at times.
Yes, actually, if you not only just the Australia game, if you look, you can remember the South Africa game as well. South Africa were
Yeah.
at one point running away with the game, but it was the spinners
Yep.
who pegged them back in the middle overs. So against these non-subcontinental teams, Indian spinners have done exceptionally well in those middle overs. And today, England, they have also shown little bit of vulnerability whilst playing spin that we have seen in some of their previous games. So again,
Yeah.
that's why I think that India won't mind bowling first over here, because
Yeah.
early in the morning the pace, you can see the lot of breeze coming in from that side. So the pacers will get the
Yeah.
kind of movement, a
Yeah.
little bit of movement in the air and off the surface, and then they have the
Yeah.
spin to back it up. So I won't mind.
Yeah.
If I was Yazdul, I won't mind losing the toss here. And
Yeah.
talking
I
about Indian
see.
spinners, I have been
Yeah.
privileged to be a part of ICC's committee, which will pick the team of the tournament, and I have recommended them to pick both, Vicky Oswal and England's Rehan Ahmed in their 11. So let's hope that
Wonderful.
my selection.
Wonderful. The bowling cricketer community is so happy right now. And there you go. Sandipan Banerjee bringing us some really secret information before the match begins. But Sandipan, I see dark clouds hovering on the far end towards your right side. Should that be a concern? Should that be a
Not
concern for
really,
us?
because the weather is coming in from that side, and that's where I can see, blue sky.
Wonderful. Fantastic. Right. We have the lineups here. And of course, no changes for India going into this one. And we did talk about the spinners. But equally fascinating has been India's fast bowling towards, especially Ravi Kumar. I mean, we talk about Rajwardhan Hangarkar as well. We talk about his bowling. You, of course, brought us a nice bit of snippet of behind the scenes watching him in the nets. Before we go on to Ravi Kumar, what can you share as far as the process of being Rajwardhan Hangarkar is and
Look,
what he was
Rajvandar
talking about?
Hangrekar. Look, what I feel that Rajvandar Hangrekar, you know, hasn't taken the wickets in the tournament as expected from him. But I think he
Yeah,
has done exceptional job. I mean, whenever he has, he bowled fast, he attacked the batsman. and I have seen him at the nets as well. He is a very thinking cricketer. Let me tell you that he can.
Mhm.
He is not like one of those bowlers who will just come in and he uses his brain every time. Whenever he try, he's planning something. He knows.
Yeah,
Like listening from their conversation, I can understand that he understand very well how to walk a batsman out. And let's not be surprised if he, under these conditions today in this final, he comes out and take 3 or 4 wickets. So I am
yeah,
expecting, because it was unfortunate for me that I could not take Rajvardhan Hangrekar in the team of the tournament because of his non because he hasn't taken many wickets. But I really hope
hmm
him to do well, and he's a bright prospect, and I can
yeah.
see him playing in the Indian senior side within next couple of years. He's a bright prospect.
Wonderful. There's a lot of raw material in there for an aspiring fast bowler, and just in terms of his partnership with Ravi Kumar, I mean, there's that left arm seamer who brings in the angle into play early on in the game. Gets the ball back into the right hander. It's really tough for anyone to face the likes of him, and he's been in a fine form. Got that first wicket against Australia as well early on. So, what are your expectations as far as the duo of these two are concerned, as far as Ravi Kumar is concerned?
They complemented each other brilliantly, and
Yeah,
that's what they have done throughout this tournament. Rajvardhan Hangrekar is someone who can come in and hit the deck hard, put the batsman on their toes. But Ravi Kumar will pitch the ball up. He's one of those like typical swing bowlers who will try to bowl, the indie first, try to walk a batsman out. So yeah, I mean, different kind of bowlers, but they complement
yeah.
each other brilliantly.
Fantastic. Well, England, of course, let's talk about England. They have gone with the same side after their win against Afghanistan. We defended 230. And of course, Captain did mention how good it was to defend that against the team. It was an exciting fixture, that one. What can you tell us about the England players? Who are the players you're looking out for in the England lineup today?
Yes, England. This particular England team, and I have asked this question to Tom Prest as well. That they try to emulate the gameplay of their senior side, that is Owen Morgan team, and that's why you will
Yeah,
see that their batters will come out and try to play their shots. I can remember one of those games here in the quarterfinal against South Africa. They chased down 210 runs in 31 overs. Sort of 31.2 or something like that. So I mean,
yeah,
and in the bowling also, if you see, they bowl attacking lengths throughout the game. And as a captain, Tom Prest is not afraid of giving the ball to a leg spinner, even in the death overs as well. So that is, I think that like what Morgan does with Adil Rashid at the senior
yeah,
level. So he has picked up a
yeah,
lot of things from Morgan, and he was
yeah,
saying that in the press conference that a lot of the senior England players have been in constant in touch with them. They have wished them good luck.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, after 24 years, they have reached the final. So yeah, they want to make this one
Yeah.
count.
Definitely big occasion, part of England's white ball revolution, as it is talked about at home back there. But yes, I won't be wasting much time of yours, Sandipan, because I know the match is about to begin in a few minutes. Before that, let's just come on to the business prediction end. What are your predictions as far as the team to watch out for today, who's going to lift the trophy, and the players who you
Well,
think two players,
well,
one a player each
India,
from both teams?
absolutely. I think India will go into this game as strong form favorites. They won't mind these conditions. And today, I expect Rajvardhan Hangrekar to take at least to take wickets up front. And in the batting,
Yeah,
I expect someone like Harnoor Singh, who showed his, who showed his glimpse of his coming back into his form in the game against Australia. So I think that Harnoor will get into the runs, and then we have Sheikh Rashid and Yastur there. So yeah,
fantastic. Fantastic. There you go. Words from Sandipan
and of
Banerjee,
course
our man.
I mean the Indian spinners. I mean, of course,
Yeah,
Indian spinners will be there.
yeah.
I think in the middle overs, it will be a lot will depend on how they bowl against the English batters.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Sandipan Banerjee. As always, a delight talking cricket to you, and especially a delight talking cricket to you on a day like this. Thank you so much. Have a great experience watching the final, and we'll have a great experience connecting to you in between the final and post the final. So stay tuned, all our viewers, to Cricket News for all the updates regarding the under 19 final, and do follow Sandipan for all the inquisitive questions that you have on his social media handle. He'll be bringing you all the updates regarding the final. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.